welcome back to Life Through Her Eyes. I'm your host, Debbie.
And I'm Jackie.
Welcome back. We are so excited for you all to be here with us today, especially for our Mother's Day show. So happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. Yay! Jackie and I also are blessed to be mothers. I have 3 children and she has 1, and I'm very blessed to be one. And to kind of start our show, I know a lot of times when we're talking about Mother's Day, we like to just jump right into being like, I want to thank my mommy for everything she's done and all that. But since me and Jackie are mothers, we kind of want to thank ourselves and started out with asking really what it is that has changed about ourselves and what we've learned in motherhood and through motherhood. So, personally, for myself, starting off, I feel like I've learned what a hypocrite I am through motherhood. I feel like
That part.
until I was a mother, I didn't really understand how I could tell someone to not do something while I do it at the same time. And in my mind at the time, it didn't feel like I was being a hypocrite, but looking back, it just kind of shows me my shortcomings and my areas that I can be better because, like, say, even something, for instance, like smoking or drinking. I could tell my child, don't do that. But if I do that and they see me do that, children don't do just what they're told. We as humans generally replicate what we see.
Yeah.
So whether your child becomes a smoker or an alcoholic or whatever or not doesn't really matter. It just is the fact that they have a higher tendency to try those things out if they have a parent that shows them those things. So I think firstly, the hypocrisy definitely is something I noticed, and it really helped me grow to become a better person and a better mother as well, so that I can practice what I preach and not just teach them to be a hypocrite. And also, that led into me learning how to give them autonomy at certain ages, probably around the end of elementary, going into middle school. I remember having talks with them and being like, I've had a lot of time, and your father's had a lot of time to teach you and explain to you that there are consequences to your actions. But now we're going to step back and we're going to let you figure this out on your own. And we're here as your support. And if you have questions, we're here, but we're not going to try to boss you around as much and necessarily almost bully you into doing what I want you to do. I want you to, at this point, want to make the right decisions on your own accord. And if you don't, then guess what? You're going to have to suffer some consequences. And that is really scary, letting your children potentially fall and hurt themselves or make bad decisions and
Yeah.
have to suffer consequences. But that is part of teaching them to become adults. You have
Yep.
to let off the reins a little bit at some point. It taught me that for myself in motherhood, that I have chosen to be the mother that trust my child to make the right decision instead of trying to micromanage them into making what I think the right decision is. How about
Absolutely.
you? How about you, Jack?
Absolutely. I think you used a great word there too. The trust, because you're like, that's the kind of parent that I want to be. I want to be able to just trust that I've already instilled these good
Right.
values. I've shown you. We've had a lot of talks. It's open, and now here's your time to go and apply that because you're not really going to know. And be within the safety of the closeness, the nearby proximity of having me there, as opposed to now you're just out in the world and you've never been by yourself before and you're like, oh God, culture shock.
Right.
I've always loved and had a respect for the way that you parent and your relationship with your kids. I've always loved it.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a trial and error type situation, but I think that's most parenting, so try not to be too
100%.
hard on myself. But
Because even your method with all of your children, you have to tailor them still for each child.
right.
Because it's not like there's no book on parenting that works for every parent and that works for every child. And even for the same parent and multiple children, the same parenting doesn't always work with all of them. You got
Yeah,
to.
that's a good point. And to your point, I heard once someone say something that I found to be profound about parenting was that each child, even if you have a lot of siblings, like you and I have
Mhm.
siblings. We're not the only children, right? And your
Correct.
son has
Yep.
siblings as well. So
Right.
all of our kids
Mhm.
have siblings. We come from siblings. And the truth of the matter is, each of us got a different parent. Even though we could have the same biological mother and father or not, it doesn't matter. We can be under the same roof or not, it doesn't matter. We
Yep.
could be twins, it doesn't matter. Each of us
Mhm.
are going to have a different relationship and different view of our parents, each of them
Mhm.
individually, because of the different relationships, the different ways they treat you because of your gender, how the parent is during that age and stage of their life,
Yep.
mentally, emotionally, financially. All of these things differ. So, for
Mhm.
you to realize that you have a different mom than all of your siblings got, even though
Yep.
she's Linda, and then she's mom to everyone, but she was different. So you're lucky that you just have one child, so you don't have to worry about being multiple people to
Yeah.
multiple children. I have three of them, and I know that as you being the baby of a family of, what do you have, five of your total children? You being the baby, you definitely see how each sibling has a different mom than you have, because you have a huge age difference. So
Mhm.
your mom definitely grew a lot. And I know they were pretty jealous of how easy your mom might have been on you, whereas she was not the same with them, because she was different then. She was much older with you, and
Right.
it was
Right.
just the two of you for part of her life.
Which
So.
was a huge part of it because it was just me
Exactly.
and her. So there's actually, oddly enough, a lot of freedom for her with having me because she wasn't in that marriage to her
Right.
dad. Not as far as like her freedom from the kids, but freedom from him because of the very hard relationship. He was abusive. He was an
Yeah.
alcoholic. So mom not having to be in that atmosphere, she's a different woman. You
Yeah.
had told me,
Absolutely.
what was that quote that you had said the other day?
No,
Share with our
I
viewers.
believe, and again, this is not an exact quote. I really do need to look this up again and find out where it was referenced. But
Which we
from
can
what I,
find it out and we'll put it in
right,
quotations in the video. We can totally do that.
absolutely, you're in the comments, absolutely.
Mm,
There's a study that shows what the likelihood of a child growing up to be a successful adult in society, what is the main contributor to it.
mhm,
And
mhm.
oftentimes they said it was believed that it was a two family home, like a mother, father, two parent home,
Right.
that
Mhm.
really gave a boy or a girl the structure they needed to have a successful adulthood.
Right.
And they actually found out that that was not correct, but that the sole factor was if the mother was happy or not. And if a
Mhm.
child grew up in a home where their mother was happy, then that means that she was able to give and fill her child and make her child believe that they can be anything and do anything. And she had the energy to give to her child and love her child and nurture her child because she herself was happy and fulfilled. Opposed to, and that could be in or outside of a relationship. Lots
Mhm.
of women can
Right.
be in a relationship and not happy and fulfilled at all. And that kid will turn into Jeffrey Dahmer or whoever, whatever. That's just a guess. I don't know how Dahmer's parents' relationship was. That's
Yeah.
just a random ass reference. But
Exactly.
then the flip side, if you are sad all the time and depressed and stressed out over bills because you're an only
Mhm.
mother and you're not getting child support and everything's going up and your income's not, and all the stresses that can come to anyone, any single woman, single mother in the world, but specifically right now in America, of course, how can that child thrive if their
Mhm.
mother is so focused on just trying to get by and keeping her mental
Survive.
together and her body healthy and her kid healthy and taken care of, and all of
Mhm.
the things she's doing alone, which should be being handled by two people? So she can't nurture and show that kid that anything's possible, because she's showing that kid nothing is possible and that everything is horrible. And so, although you can, in both situations, have a father around that makes great money, but maybe tends to be at work a lot, so the child is left home more with an unhappy mother who's stressed over whatever the case may be, whether they're rich or poor, whatever, or single or not. All that to say is, literally, your happiness as a mother is the most important thing for your child. So, oftentimes, I know that I will put my kids' happiness before my own or their health before my own. But if I just flip the script and put my own before theirs, then they will get that trickle down effect anyways, because when I am happy and healthy, I will also want my child to be happy and healthy and do whatever it takes to make sure that they also are that.
Absolutely. And I feel like this definitely still goes with being said. I feel like that in the healthiest ways possible, right? We're not talking about the people that are like, oh, I want to do drugs all the time, or I want to go and be reckless and eat and sleep all day, and because that's what makes me
Right.
happy.
Right.
We're not talking about that. We're not saying, oh, because I want to go out all night and because that's what makes me happy. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
You've got to pour into yourself healthy, real love, self love, like you do the people you love. You're
Right.
pouring into them, you got to remember to pour to you. And I think that goes along with being said as well, that there's also the other side of it, right? So, children that come from mothers that were unhappy and seeing the unhappiness, seeing the struggle, sometimes that is fuel to the fire when they become older. Now, granted, they're going to have a lot of suffering getting there, but a lot of times it is fuel for them to do better and to thrive. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you can't thrive if you didn't have a happy mom, but it's going to make things hard. There's going to be struggle. There's most likely going to be some emotional damage, but I think you can still be a successful person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But right, as a mom, and if you're like, I want to do the best for my child, the best thing you can do is to make sure you love yourself too. Like,
Absolutely.
I think that is a blanketed, very, I can say absolutely to that statement 100%. And I loved it when you had told me. I was like, oh, yes. But I don't want it to get misconstrued at the same time. Absolutely. Because I think there is all of this, there's a lot of baggage that comes with motherhood. We tend to forget that a lot of these things that we do as mothers, we just innately do or want to do, but
Hmm.
it's also expected. And it's almost like that expectancy makes it like, well, someone had to do it. Of course you had to do it. It makes a lot of a load onto it, right? Just things you got
Hmm.
to remember, schedule, and especially if you have multiple children, which, like you said before, I've had times where I've had to juggle multiple schedules with kids, but for the majority of the time, it's always just been me and Gage.
Right.
So his schedule alone is hectic. And I look forward to the time when he can be able to drive and be able to know the responsibility of the going
Oh,
back and
yeah.
forth and start being able to take some of that baggage, right? Although I do love those moments when we get those car rides together. So that's something I always try to
Absolutely.
remember to in the moment. I relish it for what it is while it is, but look forward to times when he can get more independent and self-sufficient on his own 2 feet too.
Absolutely.
I love watching him grow and become like this young man that I see before me, and then I'll watch old videos of he's so little, but I can still see those personality traits. Yeah, I love that. I know some of that baggage for me is a little bit different than some other women. Motherhood looks different to each of us, honestly.
Absolutely.
And I am very fortunate that my son's dad carries a large amount of the load between juggling our son and sports and dentist stuff because he has braces, all the different
Right.
sports things. Very good co-parenting. I get along great with his wife and my son's grandma, Coco. We all just co-parent really well, and it builds that tribe. So I do feel like my baggage is a lot lighter because of that, just from
Awesome.
my experience.
That is awesome. I'm so happy that you have community, that you found community after separating from the father of your child, because oftentimes it causes a lot of chaos and it in the family instead of creating a community which is best for
Mm.
the child. So I'm really happy that you and your ex were able to separate amicably and put your son first.
Oh, absolutely. But I know I would like to hear about your juggling of the stuff and things, your baggage of motherhood. They say it's an invisible baggage. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that?
Oh, the invisible baggage. No, having three teenagers. Well, one is technically an adult now and lived with his father at 19. So
So
now only
wild.
two at home. So I'm getting really close to being an empty nester, at least of high schoolers. If they're home, they'll
Yeah.
still be in college. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think the invisible baggage is, I think, all the care and concern and just wanting to make sure that you can be a good example at all times. Try to give them all the things that at least they need and then things that they want as well, because it's kind of hard enough for any single adult right now in America
Mm.
to be able to take care of just themselves. Dating is expensive. So just think of that. If you're single and you don't have kids, right?
Mhm.
Just imagine that you date a person and you have to pay for everything all the time. There's this moment that you're like, I like you and we want to hang out, but then you're committed to at least a minimum of 18 years once the moment you say, I like that person, to have to pay for everything, and not just pay for everything, but think about their dental appointments and their doctor's appointments, and if they need clothes for whatever new job or new school or new whatever that they're going to be going to, and their lunches and outings with their friends, and just all the things that you pay for all the time. And then you also want to try to budget things for yourself in there so you can too enjoy life and you're not just going to work so that you can get a paycheck to pay for your kids to enjoy their life and pay the bill company so that you can enjoy a nice home to try to sit back and relax in. So I think part of the invisible is that it's just the weight of having to keep everyone else's life together and make sure that everything goes smoothly. I have access and know everyone's social security numbers, and none of my kids know their social security. Maybe my oldest might now, but they're not thinking of that. They're not thinking about the lights turning on if they hit the switch. They don't think about any of that stuff. They're just like food, clothing, home, everything works. And it's a lot as a single mom of teenagers because essentially they're adults. So I have three adults that I have to feed and make sure are good. And my daughter's about to go to college. So just thinking of all that, graduation parties and all the expenses that come with
Mhm.
senior year and senior dues. And then my next one, which is the last one, is going to be a senior next year. So doing all that all
Yeah.
over again, having had three back to back being seniors and becoming adults is a lot,
A lot.
but it
It's a
is.
lot. Just having three teenagers in the home too. I mean, now
The
oldest is
oldest is
not,
gone.
but
Three teenagers in the home was a lot too, but now that it's two and two dogs and myself,
well,
it's a
and
lot
Deborah,
better.
you were also you had more than just your teenagers in the house as well, in the not
Yeah.
so distant past. So there's that invisibleness, right? All the responsibility. It's a lot of responsibility.
I've definitely learned my lesson not taking too many people into my home anymore. But definitely being that mama figure, have taken in a couple nephews and brother and my mother and father at different times of my life, and friends and their kids and
Hmm.
dogs, and I've taken lots of people and animals in over my life, and I don't know if I'm completely over it. Obviously you and I are going to cohabit and we'll see how, but that's to me
Yeah.
more of a partnership than me taking you in or you taking
Yeah.
me in. That's
Yeah.
us being into an agreement together.
I remember when you took in that homeless lady that sang opera.
Yes. I don't know if it was Christina or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't remember,
she had
but
amazing voice. I remember we'd
oh
sit
yeah,
there in the living room and the floor, and she'd sing, and we'd just hang out. It was funny.
that's wild. Definitely taking lots of people. So I try to mother. I think I do try to mother people. I think mostly because I had or have. She's still alive and with me. Happy Mother's Day, mommy. Love you. I have a mother who has been physically handicapped from the time she was 16. Now she's 76. So that is
Mhm.
60 years, almost exactly 60 years of her life. She's had physical limitations. So at times I had to feel like I mothered her and took care of her.
Yeah.
And my dad had PTSD from Vietnam, and sometimes he needed help. He was an alcoholic and suffered from a lot of stuff. So I definitely think in my childhood, I had to, at a young age, learn how to take care of other people, which kind of gave me that mama complex. And
Mhm.
I even remember being a little kid obsessing over wanting to be a mom. I had so many dolls, so many, like, huge tub of Barbies. And I used to, when I was probably 7 or 8, I used to push around this stroller of triplet dolls. They were the newborn sized babies, 3 of them.
Yes.
And the irony is, I did have 3 little black babies in my life. So I was prophesying that into my future. You're going
You
to be a
were.
mother of 3 black babies, although I was only attracted to white boys at the time. So who would have thunk? That's the way life goes, though. But I love people who have been mother figures to me. I know as a kid, my parents definitely lived by the old saying, let the village raise you. And they just let me go around and do whatever I
I,
wanted to. So I felt like I had a million moms growing up. Every one of my friends' moms were a mom, and I called them mom. I never called them by the first name. What's up, mom? Hey, mom, blah, blah. Whatever color they were, didn't matter. If they were just
actually,
my
I
mom.
think your exact words before were they believe God and community raise your
Yeah.
children. That
God,
was the exact
that is
word.
it. They do believe that God and community will raise their kids, and holy crap, that happened
Mhm.
because God
That
and community raised
happened.
me. My parents, like, provided a roof over my head and some clothes and food. They definitely did. The majority, I think, of the parenting my parents did was just the provisions. The talks were minimal. There wasn't a whole bunch
Yeah.
of it. It happened, and I think I've gotten some stuff out of it. But I think I definitely learned a lot from
Yeah.
just being amongst the people and God, which is what your mom
100%.
hated mostly about me.
Well, I mean, because my mom was different, which happy Mother's Day,
Again,
Linda. Love you. She
yes,
was
my mom's Karen, the OG Karen. What up? Happy Mother's
the
Day, OG
OG.
Karen.
OG.
They're 76 and 77, right?
Right,
So they
right.
grew up in a totally different
Mhm.
time than us, and
Well,
we
because you got to
understand.
think too, because by the time me and you were friends, my mom no longer was working two, three jobs. I was a latchkey kid at the age of 8. My mom was at home a lot because she couldn't be because she was always working.
Right.
And so it was not uncommon for children of the 80s. You have a key, you walk from a bus stop, and you got to unlock the door. You get a password at the door if
Yeah.
anybody knocked. You know what I mean? This
Right.
was not uncommon. I will say I remember talking to you about that Blockbuster thing that they did, that
Uh-huh.
kid beat or whatever it was, and you're like, what the hell is that? I'm like, when you go to
Oh yeah,
Blockbuster and you
no.
film a video in case you're ever kidnapped, and that's what they can give to the news, and you're like, oh, no,
My parents didn't
never.
give a shit about me. They didn't care about me at all. They didn't. They never. They. Nope. I shouldn't
Dude,
say that. I'm sure my parents cared about me,
they
but they
cared.
were not trying to make any video in case I disappeared. I was every day technically disappeared until I
I
came home.
know.
There was no what when Deborah disappears,
But
and I
that
might not
tells
come
you,
home, and I'll probably call at some point and be like, I'm not
I
coming
mean,
home.
back when we were kids, there was an ad on TV that was, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
Yeah, that's
Like to
weird.
remind our
So yeah,
parents.
so we're much better mothers now.
but
We're doing
but the
much
thing
better.
is that shows the difference in our parents' parenting. But by that
And
time when me and
society
you,
and at large.
well, and by the time we were friends, my mom was home whenever I was home from school. So she wanted to know where I was at. And if she didn't know and I'm walking around, then she didn't know, then I'm,
And big
she
doo
wanted,
doo.
we didn't have cell phones, right? She wanted to know where I
You
was
paid
at. Like,
yourself.
I'm telling you, your
All
mom
right,
went,
now for
no.
our rapid fire moment. Jackie, you know you're a mom when.
You can carry a toddler, groceries, and still unlock the door with a pinky.
I don't know about the pinky part, but I've definitely been there with all of the
Like,
others. I think I need point, pinch, or fingers, but
the
I don't know about the. I need 2 fingers. I don't know about a pinky. That's really talented. You'll have to teach me that one. Mine is when you can be in public and you see that naughty kid and you just mean mug them really hard until they act right because you're like, you mother.
the mom stare.
When you mean mug them and give them the mom stare, that's how you know
Yes,
you're a mom. Because no non-mom does that. They're just like, oh my god, look at that kid, how annoying that. And
true.
we're like, I will whoop your butt if
I'm,
your parents
I'm not
weren't
afraid.
here.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Where's
I
your
am not
mom?
moved. No, really, like, I am not moved by your silliness.
Yeah.
You are doing nothing but provoking me to want to whoop that ass. That's
Yeah.
it.
I
That's
love it.
basically it.
I love
So,
it.
all right, you know your mom when?
Someone says mom and three people turn around.
Yes, no, definitely.
In a public place and you hear mom, you're like, even though your kid's not with you, you still
Right,
turn when you hear
right.
mom.
Absolutely. That's a
How
good
about
one.
you? You know you're a mom when?
You're nursing and someone cries and it's not your baby and your breasts fill up.
That
That's how you
part.
know you're a mom. Oh
You
my
feel
God,
that
that's
you
not
feel
even my
that
kid. My kid's not here, but this fucking baby's crying.
that pressure and you
Yeah,
feel
how you know
yeah.
you're a mom.
You know you're a
You
mom
know
when
you're a mom when.
you can endure the pain of stepping on a Lego and still only
Oops.
screaming, son of a biscuit.
Oh my God, that is amazing that you're able to do that and not curse. Nope, I'm
Mm,
definitely cussing.
a pseudo cuss word on top of yeah,
That's
stepping
that's
on a
that's
Lego.
incredible, Jackie.
Mm.
So, yeah,
You know you're a
I
mom
think
when?
when you can
Oh.
poop in front of someone in the bathroom, because most people can't do the do alone, but when you're a mom, you have no choice. They
Mm.
bust in at any given moment,
Any
no
given
matter
moment.
what age,
Hmm.
from babies up to teenagers. You get no privacy. So get used to losing your privacy and taking a poo in public, because it's just a thing now.
The fingers under the door.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Like
That was
cats
always
or
Gage's
dogs, but they,
go-to
yeah,
when he
they
was a little
definitely did
kid.
that.
Hmm.
I'm like,
Hmm.
yo, just leave me alone. So yeah, no privacy. You can never poo alone. So Jackie,
No.
you know you're a mom when
You hide snacks like you're in a prison yard.
that's a good one. I totally hide
I
snacks.
mean, you still buy your kids snacks, but you also buy your snacks that you keep in a secret place because you don't want
Yeah,
to eat
but
all
it's
your
the good
snacks.
snacks. They're like the premium snacks. Yeah, that's true. That is some mom stuff right there, having to hide the good stuff. That
Yeah,
was a really good one, Jackie.
I appreciate it. So, you know you're a mom when.
You own a purse that is like Hermione's on Harry Potter, where it literally is never ending and you have every possible thing you could ever need in case any
Umbrella?
emergency. Umbrella, boom, here, some band-aids, Neosporin. You need me to sew something up? I have a kid in here. Like
SPF 50?
water? Do you need a snack? Like, oh, I have a little blanket. Are you cold? Everything is in your bag. That's how you know you're a mom, that
Yep.
you literally have the whole world wrapped inside of your purse.
Yes,
That's how
absolutely.
you
And
know
you
you're a mom.
know where everything is at
Oh
to be able
yeah.
to get it, to get, yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
you know you're a mom when
you lock eyes with another mom in public and just like nod, like, same struggle, sis.
yeah, when your
Like
kids
you
are like
get
acting up in the store together, you're like, yeah, I get it.
it.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
same.
Yeah. You're like struggle's real.
Yes. You know you're a mom when.
You wouldn't think twice about whooping a kid's ass. I would fight a
No.
kid. When you
Mm-hmm.
are at the age
Mm-hmm.
in adulthood that you will fight a kid, and it doesn't have to be your own kid, it could be another kid for
Yeah.
treating your kid badly.
Yep.
You know you're a mom, because we don't think twice. You're like, oh, you did what to my, and then you just smack the shit out this kid because you're a mom, and
Yeah.
you will fight for your child or fight your child if they're out of line. So
In public.
you
In
just
public.
ready to tussle up with the kid at any given time. That's how you know you're a mom.
Yes. Very good. I love that one.
You know you're a mom when
When you hear silence and then you're like, oh shit, who's bleeding?
who's bleeding?
Who's
Someone's been
bleeding? It's quiet. It got really quiet. I'm scared. Like I hear
oh
nothing.
man.
That's
It's
probably
like a
something
horror
bad.
movie for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You know you're a mom when you feel that. Like it's silent and you're scared.
Yeah.
When
You
they're
know you're a
children.
mom
When they're
when
children, right? Like I mean, I don't feel
right.
that way so much as a teenager because they're probably asleep.
Or looking at porn
Or
online.
scrolling. Oh no.
Oh man. That was a good one. That was a good little rapid fire. I think those were good. I personally, I do think it's good to take time to thank our mothers. Mom, Karen, I do appreciate everything you've done. I know something that I didn't realize before I became a mother, after is I am so sorry for disrespecting your furniture. I
Mm.
just had no idea. When I was a kid, I didn't realize that couches were hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. I just thought they were trampolines and things for me to play on and eat on and you have slumber parties on or whatever. And just I'm sorry for not considering. I realize now, as a woman who has almost all adult children, how much I've spent on furniture and how important it is for me, even these couch covers, because my dogs ruin my furniture, my family ruins my furniture, people
My
come over
family.
and ruin everything. So I'm sorry, Mom. Like, you were very kind to me about it. You did not get on to me like I probably would get on to my kids if they abused my furniture like that.
They abused it.
Abused it. It has feelings. But I know that you did your best. I know that, again, like Jackie and I were saying, it was a different time that you guys were raised in, and every generation, it's a little different, and we all try to do better. And I know that you taught me to love people. I know that the reason why I care and have so much compassion is because of you, because you cared for so many people. The reason I open up my doors to people and my friends and family is because of you. You did that for so many people. You and Dad did. So I definitely attribute my kindness and generosity to you all. Um, and I'm very grateful. I know I would not be who I am without those qualities. So thank you so much. And just for putting up with me, because I know, especially my teenage years, I was a little bit on the naughtier side and like sneaking out and having to have windows nailed shut and stuff and all that fun stuff. I'm grateful that you all put up with me and believed in me. And even when I got married young, you guys still supported me and loved me all the way through it. So I'm grateful that I'm the mother today that I am because you, Mom, were the mother that you were and still are to me. So I love you and I thank you for everything that you've done to make me the person I am. Love you, Mama. Mwah. You're the best Karen I know.
Happy Mother's Day, Karen. Yes. Love that. I would also like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and all the faces that motherhood shows. Like, it comes in a lot of different forms. You don't necessarily have to have birthed that children. There's adoptive mothers, there's foster mothers, there's stepmothers. I'm thankful for my son's stepmom. I'm
Yeah,
thankful for his
absolutely.
grandma. I'm thankful for my mom, for grandmother that I had growing up, and abuela that I'm building relationship with. Just, I love all the mothers, sisters, aunts, cousins that are mothers. I love you all. And I love and I want to applaud the sisterhood that we can all share in motherhood. Right. And I
Absolutely.
appreciate the impact that every single one of these women have had in my life, and
Yes.
being able to co-parent with other women that are amazing women. I'm thankful for that. Like, I am so proud of being a woman, to be a mother,
Yes.
something that I never thought I would ever be. To be honest, when
Yep.
I was young, I didn't ever really dream about being a mom, because I had just other career goals that I thought of, and it just wasn't something that I grew up dreaming about.
Mhm.
And to be able to be blessed to be one, like, just
Yeah.
something I never could have even fathomed. Loving it so much, because my kid's freaking awesome. And I couldn't imagine my life without him. Like, I could not imagine this world without being a mom, without my kids. So
I
I'm
feel
so
you.
thankful for
I know that you and I have said this so many times, but like know what we did because as teenagers we did not do things deserving of having kids as good as we have. I'm just gonna let
yeah.
it know. It's not because like we were
Mm,
amazing
yeah.
and it's not like karma, like, oh, I can't wait till you have a kid because they're gonna nope, that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
because between the two of us, we have four children, and all four of
Mm-hmm.
them are phenomenal humans
All of
that
you
have
are
not
so
given us any
amazing.
trouble, that are all smart and
Yeah.
studious and kind,
Yeah.
funny. Just oh my gosh, we literally have the best children, even in the situations where we have not stayed with our partners and all that other
Mm,
stuff. Like nothing
yeah.
has got these kids down.
Yeah.
They are just so resilient and
Mm,
amazing. And I mean, that's what makes being a mom
yeah.
even better too, because it's not like it's pain and grief and suffering. I mean, I went all through that, like, I mean, through all that when I was having kids,
Hmm.
not like when they were babies, even. They were great as babies. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we're so blessed. So, motherhood is definitely
Exactly.
easier when you have healthy, happy children that are like
Mhm.
kind and considerate and that have like a good home that they can come out of. And sadly, not every has those situations, but
Mhm.
everyone is still so worthy of love and being
Absolutely.
mothered, and mamas need love too. So
Hmm. Mamas
love
need
on
love
some
too.
mama. Hug on some mama. Do something
Yes.
kind for a mama, whether it's your
Yeah.
mama or a person who's been like a mother figure who's guided you in life and maybe doesn't have her own children, but she
Yeah.
definitely gives you that mama bear energy and looks out for you, like do something kind for her this Mother's
Yeah.
Day or just anytime, just to be like, hey, I see you going
Yeah.
out of your way,
Exactly.
looking out for
Mhm.
everybody and loving on us and keeping the energy right in our
Right.
workspace or wherever you're
Mhm.
at. So, we're all deserving. And
Exactly.
come Father's Day, we're not going to forget about you men either, because you play a very vital, important role that we love to have you in this
Absolutely.
world and in our lives. So, this is
Yeah.
just our special Mother's Day one. So, mamas, we love you so much.
Absolutely. I just want to say I want every mother to know they're worthy, that they're loved, and take time for you. Do not forget this. Like give that self-love to you
Yes.
and just remember like that's super important. I want to drive that home real hard. So
Absolutely,
we
because
love
so
you
many
all.
times we do kind of think like I'm the worst mom, right? You're
Right.
like, I didn't send them to the best school, or I didn't give them the healthiest breakfast, or I yelled at them and
Yeah.
I lost my temper
Right.
because
Right.
didn't have my coffee yet and they
Yeah.
said something rude to me
I
and asked me
I
about my
woke up
mustache or
late and
something.
now they're late
Yeah.
to school or yeah.
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 Or
Yeah.
whatever, and you just don't feel like the best mom.
Mm.
Came across a video not too long ago of this lady reading this book about, you're not the world's worst mom. And we just wanted to share that with you. So
Yes.
hopefully you enjoy it as much
Stay
as we
tuned.
did. Yep. And it'll be playing right after this. So hopefully you will enjoy as much as we did. Thank you so
Okay.
much again for watching us. And I hope you all have a
Sure.
wonderful, happy Mother's Day. And even if you're a fur baby mama, you also matter too. You're keeping that little dog or cat or whatever very happy. So thank you for being a great mommy as well. We love you all. Mwah. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Like and subscribe right here.